Hey guys, so today we'll be looking at the original Surface Pro 1 in 2020. Originally, I bought this little tablet on eBay a year ago for 130-ish US dollars, and although it was released in 2013, this ancient piece of tech is still holding up pretty well. Spec-wise, it has a dual-core hyper-threaded i5-3317U processor, 64 gigs of SSD storage, and 4 gigs of RAM. It has obviously no dedicated graphics and relies on the Intel HD 4000 iGPU instead. Maybe this is kinda stylish in 2013, I don't know, but it's definitely a chunky boy in 2020. Still, the battery is holding up pretty well, the SSD is relatively speedy, and overall if you don't care about its weight or look that much, it's still a pretty decent choice for, casual use on the go or something. In terms of benchmarks, I ran Cinebench R20 as well as 3D Mark Firestrike. The CPU got a monstrous 437 points. In comparison, the budget Lenovo S340 laptop that I use for just casual web browsing or writing on the go scored 857 points, so that's almost twice as fast, with a pretty low-end Core i3-8145U, also a mobile dual-core. So yeah, we've certainly come a long way, haven't we? My desktop Xeon W2140B processor, which has 8 cores and 16 threads, got over 3800 points. Obviously, comparing a mobile dual-core to a much newer server 8-core isn't very fair, at least it can give you sort of an idea as to how this tablet has aged in terms of CPU performance. Moving to the GPU side, 3D Mark gave me a score of 0 because one of the graphics tests actually failed to even run, so yeah, there's that. But I guess it doesn't take a smart man to figure out that the ancient HD 4000 iGPU isn't going to blast through any modern games anyway. Running CSGO in 1080p low settings, we can see that the game is very stuttery. Frame rates rarely go above 20, and when there's a lot going on, it can even drop to the single digits. I'm experiencing insane input lag, and honestly, this is a very bad experience. Dropping the resolution to 720p in windowed mode, the game did get a boost in performance, but I'm also seeing a lot of textures failing to load. Although this is much smoother and my input lag is getting better at 720p, the missing textures is just making this a very poor experience overall. Note that I didn't use any screen capture software and recorded the gameplay footage on a camera instead. Screen recording is just simply too much for this dual-core processor to handle. Moving on to League of Legends, we can see that the game is actually pretty playable on this tablet. At medium settings 1080p resolution, the game runs at roughly 60 to 70 FPS constantly, and overall this is very playable. It's really impressive how well this game is optimized for lower spec machines. Now let's try some AAA titles like Battlefield 1. Well, it didn't really go very well, it just froze upon startup and gave me a black screen, so yeah. In terms of daily usage, such as web browsing or watching videos, the dual-core CPU is still able to handle them pretty well. Although one thing to note is that in terms of I/O, there's only a single USB port, which is very likely to be taken up by the mouse, as the touchpad is just really hard to use. Now let's talk about price. The tablet itself costs around 130-ish US dollars, and you probably need to pay more if you want a keyboard. Purely in terms of price to performance, this is probably not a very good buy. However, its greatest advantage is in the portability, and taking that into account, I would say that this is a pretty good option if and only if you need the flexibility of a 2-in-1. So that's it for today guys, hope you liked the video and please hit the subscribe button if you want. Thank you.